Hello, happy Friday. We're here, family. Mr. Frederick, welcome back. Hope everyone is enjoying their Friday. Yeah! Woo! There we go. It's Friday, guys. We're here another day. The weekend's here, just about. But it's every day's the weekend. You know, it's all your mind. It's your mindset. I hope everyone. Oh, happy Valentine's Day for those who celebrate it. I'm not a big Valentine's Day guy, but I understand it's special, especially for a lot of ladies. So, happy Valentine's Day to all the ladies out there. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Let's see. What we're going to talk about today. Well, first, let's do the verse. Let's do today's Bible verse. We're going to start that out first, fam, before you guys start getting in here. Uh, let's see. I'll be waiting forever for that. So, let's just go right in here. I don't know why I can't get out of here. Video games that I never want, for some reason, only pops on with my Bible verse. Nothing but Satan. Okay. Oh, it's also, shout out, this is also, well, it's not his real birthday, but it's the one that he picked, Frederick Douglass, my namesake. That's who he picked. He picked February 14th to celebrate as his birthday. I don't believe they actually have the real, because he was born in slavery and enslaved. So I don't think they have his real birthday when he was born. But anyway, fam, okay. So this is today's Bible verse. Today's verse comes from Corinthians 1 Corinthians 1:30, and it says, "But of him are ye in Christ Jesus, who of God is made unto us wisdom and righteousness, sanctification, and redemption." So that's all the things that comes with Christ is sanctification, redemption, and righteousness. So that's in us as well as in God. Hello, Mo. So we see that this is what we're going to have here for First Corinthians. And I love that because that lets us know that everything that is in him is in us. Pretty simple. Also, that's wisdom included. So wisdom is in us as well. That's in Christ. So we got to remember to be wise. Sanctification, redemption, and righteousness. That's right, Mo. I love that. That's beautiful. And I use the Bible app, guys. So a lot of times I don't look at them. Every now and then, if it's pertaining to what I'm talking about, I'll use it. But I don't always do it. It kind of goes in and out. Also, I want to say, guys, what I'm going to talk about today is going to be fear. Okay. And the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because a lot of times I find that on our road to improving ourselves, it's merely fear that's stopping us from improving. It's fear. It's fear of success, fear of the unknown, but fear nonetheless. Okay, say hello to some people in the live. Hello, Adriana Walker. Hello. And so I want to say that if we can face our fears, if you can find the courage to face your fears, that is a key part of developing the ability to move forward and improve yourself and become your best version. It's going to be very hard to do if you do not figure out how you can face your fears. That's critical because fears is what keeps us in that space of not growing. It's our fears. It's our fears of the unknown. Okay, so when you're afraid of what am I going to be if I stop drinking? What am I going to be if I stop having sex? What am I going to be if I stop hanging with this friend or hanging with this crowd that I'm around? Who am I if I don't be what I'm doing now? What do I do? Okay, like, share, subscribe, guys. If you resonate with my message, if this hits something in you, if you feel as though what I'm saying is something that you've experienced or you've seen, which I'm pretty sure all of you have, please go ahead and give the like button. And so back to what I'm saying is God didn't give us a spirit of fear. So when you have that fear in you of moving forward and you're stagnated and you're scared of what's to come, understand that that's not God. Okay, he doesn't make us fearful like that. You know, we you're supposed to have the power, sound mind, okay, love, power, sound mind, and love of God in you. So you're not going to be scared to change when you fully embrace the Lord. You realize the change is very easy because it's not about you doing it on your own. It's about you doing it with support of the Most High. And when you take it from that perspective, it's carrying a burden that you can't carry. You can't carry what's the unknown. You don't know. You don't know how you're going to respond when you stop this. You don't know how your body's going to respond. You don't know how other people are going to respond to you. But what you do know is that if you believe in the Lord, all things work together for those who love the Lord. So all things will come together when you have that relationship. So that's what you hold on to embrace your fears, to go through those fears. It's okay. Everyone has fears. I mean, they say they don't. We have fears, but we got to understand that that's not coming from the Lord. That's us. That's the world. That's Satan. That's all that. Now, of course, you're gonna have general fears of, loved ones getting sick, things of that nature. That's human. Okay, those are things we can't control. But it's when you're ruled by those fears. It's when you cannot move forward. When you become stagnated. That's when it's very unhealthy. That's when it's very unhealthy. Fear failure, that's natural. It's human instincts, and that could be used as a good thing. You could use fear in that good way. I don't want to fail, so I'm going to work hard to not fail. So that's not bad, in a sense. But it's when you start to let those fears control you and control how you move. That's when it's moving into a place where it's now going to be a detriment to you, and you'll find that people can prey on your fears too, fam. Understand this. If you get around individuals that are the wrong individuals, that are predatory and just, deceptive in nature, if they recognize that you have a fear of something, they can take and manipulate that in you. So now this is not obviously going to be a good person that's doing this, but honestly, this is what I'm saying. The link between fear and the devil is he's not going to bring you, if you're operating under fear and moving your life under fear, you're not getting godly things come to you because you're not operating under God's protection. You're operating under fear. So how are you going to get a godly thing when your whole MO is fear? You're not. You're going to get what you're going to get what you're not looking to get. And that's the thing. That's why he tells us not to embrace that fear and to embrace the Lord, because I'm telling you, I've experienced this myself. When you're scared of something, you don't want something to happen, and the very thing you're looking to avoid is what ends up happening, and that happens because of you embracing that fear. So that's why I say you have to definitely face your fears. It's going to be hard. I don't like to fly. Okay, anyone that knows me knows I'm like B.A. Baracus. I'm like Mr. T in the 18 for all my old school people. I don't like getting on planes. Everyone knows that about me. However, I've had to get on planes in my life, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting on more, especially now doing this. But that being said, I understand that that I'm going to put in the Lord's hand. When I have to get on these planes, when I have to, especially what's happening recently with the planes going down, I mean, this doesn't help someone with anxiety of planes. Like seeing something like not 100 miles from where you're at, a plane going, colliding with a helicopter, and, no one knows how these professionals can't see that, hey, it's a plane coming this way. And, anyway, that's above my pay grade, family, but I'm just saying that for people who don't like to fly, that did not help. Trust me. And the one that went down in Philadelphia. All of those situations, man. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Stuff happens. Car accidents happen way more frequently, every day. We have fatalities from car accidents. So I'm not trying to pick on the air industry or anything like that. Flight industry, I understand that accidents happen. That's just life, it's, you can't avoid it. You could trip up. I mean, it's people slip in their tub, and God forbid, and it's like, that's, it's life, okay? Anything can happen anytime, but my point to you guys is to understand that facing your fears is a good thing, because I don't want you to be preyed on by individuals or just by the situation. When you're afraid of something, a lot of times the situation can punish you. Okay, it can give you anxiety. It can take you outside of who you normally are. So just by the fact that you're operating off of fear, you're not going to be your natural self. It's just like if you're in a room full of individuals that you just aren't sure about, and you might feel they have some animosity towards you. You're not going to want to be in that room. Okay, your instincts, your natural human instincts, are going to tell you to exit stage left, get out of there. It's for a reason, for your protection. So that's the same thing when you don't face your fears and you don't acknowledge your fears. That's the same reaction that you're going to get. You're going to either have to fight or flight, because you want to get out of there. And you got to understand that you don't want to embrace that. You don't want to get preyed on, manipulated by people. So you have to first have the courage to take on that fear. Would you say, Mo, it's the fact that the airways are supposed to be so controlled? Yeah, and that's true. They are supposed to be controlled, but we have to realize that, I mean, traffic is supposed to be controlled. On the ground, it's supposed to be controlled. But I get what you're saying. You have people directing, and but it still happens, So yeah, face your fears, fam. That's what we need to do. And that's my message for today, for Friday, going into the weekend. I hope everyone enjoy. Face your fears. And today, my artist, or my famous person that I want to mention, someone I was watching earlier, is Mr. Fred Williamson. Okay, Hammer. If you all don't know, old school, one of my idols, one of the people that I always looked up to as an actor, director, movie maker. He made the classic Black Caesar. My kids know I made them watch it a million times, but image is very important. To see someone that looks like you in a powerful position, okay, doing powerful things, is very important. That's marketing. That's psychology. That's any kind of influential field that you want to assign to how we respond on visually once we see imagery. So you have to see things before you can believe it. And he's a master at that. And he's still living, by the way. He's about 86, 87, his 80s. But Fred Williamson, man, that guy, you talk about a legend. Before Denzel, you had Fred Williamson. Put it like that. You had Hammer. That was his nickname. They still call him the Hammer. But you had the Hammer before you had Denzel. You have him before Wesley Snipes, before Lawrence Fishburne, Morris Chestnut. Before all of these black actors, you had Fred Williamson. And here's the thing. They put him under, back in the 70s, blaxploitation. They started calling all these movies blaxploitation. So when they did that, right, what happened was, it's kind of brilliant or clever, let's put it that way, because these movies were getting a lot of attention in the inner cities, because all of the movie theaters had moved out to the suburbs, because it was a shift in America in the late 60s, early 70s, and they called it white flight, where a lot of the whites were moving out of the inner city and into the suburbs. So the movie theaters that were already in the city weren't getting people going there, but who was left in the cities but the blacks. So they put in blaxploitation. They called it that. It was black movies, and the audiences flocked to the movies. Boom, there you have it. Now, interestingly, it flipped, and it became a negative, and it became stigmatized, just like disco did in the late 70s, early 80s. Disco was very popular, and then it became stigmatized as not being cool. It merged a lot of different cultures together. It merged whites, blacks. Everyone loved disco. Who didn't love disco? And some kind of way, it got a stigma in the late 70s, 79, 80, as being bad, as being corny, as being whatever, associated with a lot of negative things. So once that happened, disco went out of style. Same thing happened with the blaxploitation. So influence is very important. Who gives us the messages, what the messages are, how they influence us, how we interpret the message. If someone tells us this is bad, well, it tells us it's good at first. But then, okay, now these black movies are negative. Now these movies are portraying pimps and hustlers and drug dealers and XYZ. Okay, well, if you want to put that What is the Mafia movies? What is Godfather? What is Heat? What is Donnie Brasco? What are all those gangster movies that are based on Italian Americans? Are those negative? Are those taken away? No, those are classics. Okay, Godfather 1, 2, and 3. Martin Scorsese. These movies are considered all-time classics, and yet they are mobsters. They're murderers who they're portraying in these movies. See, I see things like this. This is something that for me is common sense. How is this not uh, European exploitation, okay, movies, and get rid of them and stigmatize as a negative? But the black movies that they're pimps and gangsters and killers and they're bad now. See, so as long as you have these dualities existing, you're never going to have a society where all the little kids are going to equally grow up feeling confident. Because if you take away positive images, and I get it, maybe they weren't doing all the best things, but they were still winning in their movies, which kids, in my opinion, need to see that. They still had heroes. They still had some some form of power. Okay, and so now these films are taken out. So Fred Williamson, what he did interestingly is he took his movies when they wouldn't help him in Hollywood, and he said, I'm going to Europe. I'm going to Italy. I'm going to make movies over there. They're cheaper and people will see my movies. And he made his movies over there and they were very popular. They did very good. And he ended up, becoming fairly successful in Europe. So it was told to him initially that his movies wouldn't sell, but he was a smart man. He is a smart man. He could see, hey, they do sell. My movies do sell over there, and European audiences and worldwide audiences will view my movies. So I admire his tenacity. I always admire individuals that are courageous. See, that took courage. That I know he had to be fearful. Okay, these movies are telling me I can't do this and that, but he still moved forward. He still moved forward with his message, what he believed in. And that's what I respect. So shout out to Fred Williamson. And if you get a chance, check out some of his old school movies. Black Caesar, Bucktown. He has a whole slew of them. You can go on YouTube, just type his name in. But an actor that I really admire, put forth the positive, strong image of a black male. And that's it, guys, for Friday. So I want everyone to enjoy your weekend. And remember, love what you do what you love. See you at 11:30 on Monday. Peace.